kitchen, so a bit of a setup from Liquid. Steel watching the ramp, Nitro watching the heaven, off angles mainly, so Mousesports may not expect these positions, but smokes and flashes start to rain on in. Sunny going to lead the charge into the bomb site. Nitro not been spotted, neither Steel, but eventually they wrap around the right side of the site, so Nitro's dead, Steel gets caught out of position, and now Mousesports double entry, Liquid unequipped, no kits to work with. Is this even retakeable?
I would say no. They still have Oscar sitting up perched with that op. It's going to make it really tough to actually get a retake going. They've got forward positions as well on Mousesports' side and utility to work with too. And yeah, as you can see, Elise being tagged down so heavily, he's going to bail out. Sunny's going to be on his tail though. It's already spotted the bailout towards Ivy, and this is going to set the start of a chase here. Hunting season is on.
Bit of an off angle for now fly on top of that box, but to be honest, with two players here, Mousesports should be able to take him down if they do opt to push, and they will. Flash through, Sunny goes for it, but hey, I mean, that's not too bad for Liquid. They get a 2-for-1. They damage Mousesports' economy, and this wouldn't be a buy anyway, so realistically, it doesn't make a huge difference. Obviously, 2 M4s would be great saved into this round, but they're not going to force round 2 anyway, so it will just be that eco.
Yeah, still a lot of money saved up on Mousesports' side. Sunny was one of the players to go down, after buying, sitting at 6.6K. You got 4 players over 5K on Mousesports, and only Stico really having any sort of money issues, and that's easily covered up by help of his teammates.
Chris J back on the MP7 is going to be a masterclass. Keep your eyes on him. Liquid with no armor. I mean, even with armor, Chris J is still dangerous with that gun, so what are the long-range SMGs, or more so, but that's a good shot from Liege. He's going to take down Sunny on the entry. Confident since that Deagle ace, and I don't blame him, but it's not going to work out this round. Gets picked off early. Now Mousesports, no option to trade that frag. They're just going to try and regroup. Fall out of the pop dog, back off of main. Give Liquid a bit of time, because they know that this buy is going to be really weak from Liquid, so they shouldn't be too worried. That's a shot from Oscar. Does get tagged prior to him killing a Liege, but it's so worth it for a Liege, because Oscar low is going to provoke more problems for Mousesports. Twister's now picked up that scout as well.
And Mousesports right now doesn't really seem to have a clear idea as to what they want to do. Robs on his own, tries to move towards the inner, gets caught out by the aggressors on Liquid. And Twist as well, it's going to follow up on that already tagged Oscar. Stico finds a return, but the one rifle in play. Naf on the bomb train goes down, so we're back into 2v2.
Ooh, that's a good shot. Everyone's taking the scout. It's just getting passed around. And Chris J, he now has to 1v2 this. No armor for Nitro, and still very tagged up, but it's still not a free round by any means. Only a Molotov to work with. Nitro's wrapping the spawn. Chris should see this. He does, but Nitro too quick. Lands a scout shot. Liquid another round on the board. And of all rounds for them to win, that was not supposed to be this.
It definitely wasn't. Mousesports messing up there. Not able to kind of regroup and get a solid plan as to what they wanted to do. You see 2 instances of them losing players with no opportunity to trade. I think you could give it to Sunny, seeing how that's what he's meant to do. Walk out into yard there. Leash just hits a really good shot with a scout to down him, but would have expected maybe somebody to be down pop at that point from Mousesports, see if they could fight a trade, or having the second guy in team main follow up on him. Instead, though, we talked about how they wanted to move away from the off meta according to Zeus, but they picked up a double up setup here. Nav's going to get aggressive. A little bit too aggressive, though. After finding Sunny by Olaf, he gets taken down by Oscar. Equal numbers. Now, let's get a benefit the T side here. Could spread the defensive Liquid quite thin, and Steel, for instance, playing that inner bomb site right now. No smokes and no Molotov to hold anyone back, so he's going to rely solely on the firepower. Oh, Chris, that's a dirty shot. That's the op in Ivy gone. Well, Steel had to rely on the firepower of the AK, and that's going to work out as well. And that means Oscar is down on the lower. He's going to get backstabbed by Elise any second now as well. And he's got the bomb. Chris completely opposite side of the map. And that pretty much seals the deal.
Wow, what a round for Liquid as well. Even with the great shots from Chris, that will not do enough.
I think Chris has spotted Elise. Might not expect the off angle of sitting on top of boxes here, but
sneaking through. Elise has no idea. Does Chris pounce, or does he wait for it to fade and hope for the luck? He pounces and he gets the kill as well. Don't count him out just yet. Flash through ramp. 2 players posted on the angle, but they'll miss a shot. Steel doesn't, though. That'll be Liquid back in control again. The 3rd round on the board. Back and forth. And Mousesports now with no money as a result because they've not been able to get consecutive rounds on the last couple. It will be Liquid on the anti-eco, and they are aware of it already. Nafly buying up that MP9, pretty ready for what they're going to see from Mousesports. You could force in this situation, wouldn't make a lot of sense. They've got triple loss bonus and they've got about 2,500 each, so you're going to have a full buy next round regardless.
Yeah, it's probably just why they're taking a bit of a pause here. But the biggest mistake there from Mousesports was committing Stiko and Robs in towards that inner bomb site with no smokes to speak of. So with Steel obviously just committed to using that AK, it's going to be a shooting gallery for him as he has no vision impaired or anything. No flashes coming over, no Molotov to kind of mess with him or make him reposition, and no smokes to kind of cover off any angle. And that gets some 2 kills. Mousesports never established control over the inner bomb site. So even though Chris gets a really, really great pick onto Twist and Ivy, it doesn't really do anything.
I'm surprised he didn't commit with that pick as well, right? Because especially if you have a beat play going on, if you get Ivy control and CT control as a result, as Mousesports, you can easily split behind the enemies and get into the back line at the very least. So surprisingly, he goes so passive when they need a big hero play. Mousesports were already down 2 players, and for Chris J to sneak there, he could have potentially upset something. But regardless, pistols. Bit of armor, some utility. Mousesports maybe wanting to go for a set execute on this A bomb site. We got Rops outside of Pop as well, so this certainly looks likely. The only man without utility is down Ivy, a position where you can't really throw nades from anyway.
Yeah, probably going to be a Nitro doesn't want to take the chance, but has the information at least. It's going to be a smoke setup pretty much to try to get the bomb plant down, get some additional money going into the next round. But I mean, they do have some weaponry to speak of. Obviously, we've seen what Sunny can do with the Deagle. Rops with the ZZ as well. They have to deal with Nav swiftly though, and already bomb dropped.
Ooh, Sunny does make up for it though, but at 17 points of health, now he's low, and Mousesports, they've wrapped up through. Twist has a pistol, that's enough apparently, but he switches back to the AWP at the wrong time, and you should not give Oscar an AWP. Big problems now for Liquid, because Mousesports are in the bomb site, but Liege saving the day from the heaven. Takes down Sunny, so that's the rifle dropped. Rops is still close, but Oscar, there's the AWP we know, striking onto a Liege. Rops follows up as well, catching Steel, getting too aggressive through the smoke, and now Nitro in a 1v2. This has all gone wrong for Liquid. Mousesports showing that if Liquid can win ecos, Mousesports can do the same in return, but it's not over yet. Bomb can go down here for Rops, but he's just desperately trying to work out where Nitro is, the one player they haven't seen this round. Bomb plant going to give time for Nitro to rotate in. Oh, what a shot. He takes down Rops midair, but does he know where Oscar is? Baits the peak. Oscar doesn't fire, but now they spotted each other. Full information. Nade for Nitro, not going to connect. Trying to bait the shot, but Oscar, he only shoots on the full peak. Mousesports win the round.
And again, really poorly poorly played anti-eco from Team Liquid. Obviously, not necessarily from a strategical point of view in terms of how they position, but Twist messes up completely trying to pull up the op after getting the first frag with the USP on the Mousesports player coming out of Ivy, and obviously that drops an op for Oscar, and he ends up getting 2 kills with it. That was, yeah, completely understand. I'm not really sure I am able to follow the logic. I'm assuming it's just like a misclick or, you know, a panic reaction from him.
Yeah, maybe, but look at this. Look at this play from Mousesports, already up to B. Oscar going to catch a lead, getting aggressive on the pop dog, and Mousesports with that pick. Even though it's an A-side pick, they can just burst with a man advantage. Play the trade game. Steel's dead after 1. Stiko with a double entry frag, and Mousesports with the B bomb site. Like that. There's been a couple of forced buy rounds back and forth, but this time it's in control again for the T's. 6 rounds looking likely. Damage is in the minds of Liquid. If they can take an AK or an AWP away, that'd be great. And Stiko's on the hunt, so Twist does have an opportunity. Pushing in through the spawn. Timing going to be crucial, but Twist hits the shot. Stiko can't connect the spray. That's an AK saved. Definitely worth it.
Definitely is. Well, Nav not having any sort of interest in joining in on the aggressive stance for exit frags. And Twist in a pretty prime position here to deal with Sunny if he peeks out. Timing could really screw him. Oh, Sunny doesn't check the corner. Obviously not the most common play. Not common plays to find a CT sitting. So that's going to be an AK in the hands of Twists. To be fair though, Mouse, considering how they pretty much got a freebie round in the previous round, they're not going to be too worried about that. Their economy is pretty all right, all things considered. And for Liquid, well, it's definitely not. Around 2K on everyone on the CT side, and an AK saved. Well, we have seen both teams being able to do a lot with a little. No scout being picked up this time though, so not as hopeful for Liquid as in the previous ones.
No, the scout really made the difference. He got 3 kills across all 3 players, so yeah, Liquid really lacking that and lacking everything in terms of the B bomb site. Steel's the only man here. Poor guy. 1 USP is all that Liquid have to hold against this tirade of Mousesports players into the site. We will have 1 kill come through for Steel with the USP, but Sunny, of course, at the same time does take down Twist, so it's an equal trade. Favorable for Liquid in the sense that they don't have the weaponry to really win this round, and so every kill counts, but Mousesports are still, again, getting the bomb down and should be getting their 7th round from this because Liquid are already looking to save. No reason to hunt once again. They can go for exits if need be, but it will be the buy next round, so they have a bit of loss bonus built up, 2,400. However, looking at their money right now,
it's going to be a shoddy buy.
Yeah, no utility, no AWP, really. You know, smoke, flash, probably no kits unless you drop some utility. This is going to be a bit of an issue.
Well, that might be a free weapon for Leash eventually. Naf does have armor on his body. Leash is actually going to go more aggressive.
Yeah, why not? He's got no armor to save, so may as well just try and hunt, you know, take down Mousesports players. Look at the health on these guys as well. They do get away with it, but Nafly only saves an MP7. I don't think he'll be
holding on to
into
that
the next round, no.
But he does have Kevlar at least, so that's going to allow for him to get utility. He can't drop an op, which is a bit of a sad state. The only one who can really do it is Steel, but seeing how he's playing the inner bomb site, that's not advisable. He needs all the utility he can grab. Well, yet again, like going into the buy round, clear advantage for Mousesports, and they've been getting a ton of T rounds here. My biggest worry was their T side actually going into this. But Team Liquid messing up 2 anti-ecos, and not necessarily getting themselves going. They've made this really hard for themselves.
Well, let's see if Liquid can get back into this game, because realistically, 8 rounds to 3 and then Liquid on eco, that should be a 9th. That is a very dominant half for Mousesports.
Oh, yeah. They'd be happy as ever with that. Right now, they're just expecting some aggression from Liquid. Liquid have done a pretty good job of just maintaining what little utility they have, though. Nearing 1 minute remaining in the round, and they still have 2 smokes and a Molotov. When I say that, 1 Molotov goes out. It's Steel has to use his final bits of utility. Oscar's also spotted him out. He's going to go for the shot. Patient as ever. And Twist trying to be the aggressor towards Ivy. Team Liquid definitely wanting to find some information. Not going to be able to, and Naf goes down to Christie as well. So 2 players remaining for Team Liquid. They're none the wiser as to where Mousesports actually want to commit. Nitro tries to get sneaky as well. And right now it's just, you know, attempts at heroic plays from the Team Liquid side, and none of them are working out.
Yeah, this is really scary for Liquid because, as you said, you know, you thought this would be a 3-map series, and one of the win conditions is they do take their own map pick. Because you know, while Liquid are a team that do like Mirage, I would say that, you know, Mousesports has shown this event that they are
the Mirage team.
The Mirage team, yeah, maybe the best in the world. Of course, we'll give that time, but they have looked phenomenal, taking it off of SK, taking it off of G2 as well.
Taking it off of SK on a bad, like not playing the Mousesports brand of Mirage either. So, you know, that makes it all the more impressive. We definitely saw them give it to G2 pretty handedly, where they did play much more like Mousesports do. Obviously, as you mentioned, back in that series, they did get started on that CT side, which definitely could have come into play as to how they wanted to approach that in the first matchup versus SK. But yeah, right now, it's looking more and more like a 2-0 series, not only because they're, you know, in a great spot to close out Liquid's map, but Liquid players are doing, you know, not necessarily great in terms from an individual standpoint. Elise has been extremely quiet. The one kind of highlight I can say we've seen from him has been, you know, Caesar round where he picks up 2 people with a Glock and pistol, and then a scout shot into T main that eventually ended up leading them to a victory in one of the eco rounds, or I guess half buy rounds. But still, like, there hasn't been too much to speak of from Liquid. What really sticks out is the mistakes they've made during the anti-ecos they've had themselves. That's obviously not something you want to deal with. But Liquid, they're going to try something different. Aggression towards the inner bomb site here. Not going to push it, so no sound cues given up. Might catch Stiko off guard here. If they actually commit down to pop. No, they're not even going to do that. They're just going to wrap around all the way through T main. Mousesports, they're kind of hanging back, taking their time out, watching the side. They don't want to run into more scouts like they have in the past. But bomb goes down, and, well, no kid in sight. on the Liquid side. So timer's been set on them already. It's not looking very likely that they're going to get too much out of this.
Oh, he gets attacked through the wall as well. Pistol out for Oscar. Shouldn't be an issue here. I think one of the big issues with that round as well for Liquid is they instantly lost Nafly on the site. If he maybe delayed that, Mousesports wouldn't have gone for such an instant push, because you could see the second they got that kill, they realized, okay, this site is empty. Let's all watch our back. You know, Oscar goes behind it, and that flank from Liquid is negated. But say Liquid are either faster on the flank, or if Nafly holds onto the site for longer, obviously it's not easy when you're on pistols.
1v5 out in yard.
You know, not to say it's his fault. The Mousesports aren't aware of the flank, and then they're not watching their back either. So not the best of rounds for Liquid, but unfortunate nonetheless. 9-3 for Mousesports. Now we have to buy back in for Liquid. We should have AWP or AWPs.
Yeah, man, that's the plural would be the correct way of going about it. So Naf buying up an AWP. I'm unsure if he's going to drop that split or not. He's actually going to hold on to it himself. So we're seeing, you know, for a team that's been saying that they want to go away from having the traditional AWP, they're really sharing the care in terms of who gets to go with it. All AWPs gets flashed in, but only Steel. The lower end there gets flashed. Nitro with an opening, and it's been a while since we've been able to say that for Team Liquid. Normally, Mousesports have been doing a really good job of finding trades at the very least.
That being said, we've not seen early setups towards ramp, especially not with two players in an AWP, you know.
And to be fair, if that had been a solo setup, it probably wouldn't have amounted to anything at all. So that's, well done by Team Liquid. Finally giving themselves a good opportunity to pick up a round here, but obviously still tons of utility on the side for Mousesports. They seem to be wanting to commit towards this B bomb side. Flash comes in from Steel.
Oh no. They're going to rush. They're still going to go with this. That's a risky move when Team Liquid have the utility. Nades going in, 4v3. Mousesports a man down. They've got to opt to go back towards A. B's not looking likely for now. The issue is they don't have any pop control, so they're looking for it. Oscar takes the risk full, but it works out because there's no one there from Liquid. Team Mousesports are going to have a hard time getting back into this round. You can see they're all split up looking for individual picks. If they can win their own gunfights, and that's something that Mousesports rely on a lot. Okay,
so I'm a bit curious as to why Stika wants to drop the bomb. So that kind of tells you that he's not going to commit towards either Ivy or main. So I'm expecting Oscar just making noise in ramp. They're going to group up and go enter once more. Only problem for them is that obviously being two men down, no need for Liquid to take any chances. Pretty solid defense here on the inner bomb site with two players, now a third, and Nafly as well. They should be able to deal with this pretty easily.
Massacre for Twist. Yeah, there it is. 3 kills. Nothing Mousesports can do against that one. As you said, you know, that third rotation just in time for Liquid. We see presence on A. We see Stiko push up on main. Oscar trying to make noise in Pop Dog, but Nafly not falling for any of those.
Yeah, I think they potentially would have. Obviously, easy for us to have who have the full overview and everything. I think they could have been better served by actually committing with Oscar and Stiko, you know, through main and Pop, and then having Sunny as the distraction. Because if you're down in a 5v3, it's very unlikely that that you would kind of set up for a split in that sense, or actually have a lurker, because you haven't gotten any sort of picks on any sides, so you need all the manpower you can get. But if they're able to get one pick out in yard, that might force a rotation from the inner bomb site, or and that's either going to be a possibility for Sunny to pick off the guy rotating out of sight, or it's going to put him in a situation where he can find the right timing to pick off the then sole defender on the inner bomb site. So depending on if Liquid aren't able to see the bomb or not, that could make them a bit scattered in how they actually rotate.
But triple AWP this round, Liquid. They don't want a primary AWP, but they want 3. And Mousesports are about to run right into this. A contact play. If the bomb goes down, this round is surely over. Liquid are going to have a tough job of getting back in, but they can hit the shots before that happens. Nafly opens up. Aggression from a lead catches the AWP, but it's a trade from Rops at the bottom of the train. Even a team kill. Rops gets dinked and Sunny finishes him off, but he does make up for it. One more kill from Sunny, and now Nitro can contest with this round. He's looking for an M4, but there's orbs littering across the map. Mousesports bomb down. Nitro potentially going to push him through this smoke, but he's not biting. They don't know where he is just yet. They know he's the man on B, but he could have rotated from anywhere here. At this point, he could be coming in through T-Con as well. Lots of questions from Mousesports. They may have spotted him. Stiko didn't. Nitro gets a shot as a smoke phase, but Sunny does respond in time. 2 kills for him. A third if you count the one onto his teammate, and he throws the AWP away.
I mean, it's the last round of the half. Oscar can buy up. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, Mousesports managing to deal with the triple ops setup. Obviously, the tempo is the worst enemy of a heavy ops setup. on most maps. So Team Liquid, even if in a situation, you could see Nitro being unfortunate not to finding one of the M4s, for instance, in that retake scenario. Retaking with an op is hard enough as it is, especially when you have to go towards that outer side of train, yard area of train, because so many angles to clear, so few bullets to do it with. But yeah, that's kind of the downside of it. Now he's going to get aggressive into T main. So even though he doesn't actually spot anyone out, he's going to get a lot of information as to what might be going on.
And I feel like Liquid ran that triple because Mousesports have been playing like this the entire game. They've been running slow defaults and going for late round site takes instead of those fast tempo rounds like you say. So Liquid back into the swing of things with this pistol round and with Famasis and UMP. Definitely not what they want, but what they used to, in fact. Mousesports have been constantly hassling the economy of the North Americans. And if they can continue to do so, this is going to be a very strong game. If it isn't already, 10 rounds to 4. Strong T-half. Flash towards Ivy with Twist, but he's not going to peek with it. And luckily so, because there's 3 Mousesports members on the other side. The bomb as well. So with Oscar leading the charge, Mousesports are going to be trying to take the A bomb site, splitting through the pop dog and up through Ivy. Oscar, first player in. Twist on the corner.
Yeah, he's going to hear that scope coming in, but still only has a FAMAS, and Oscar's just all about clearing the angles. Sunny follows up with a shot onto Nitro, and that is a 5v3 in favor of Mousesports. No utility really to speak of. They do have defuse kits, but they don't have an op to deal with Oscar.
And look at this as well. They're wrapping in through the spawn. They've got Steeko coming down ramp at the same time. They will double back, though, towards A. So faking the B wrap. I like that because already Liquid rotating, expecting that with Mousesports moving through the spawn, but it's actually not going to be the case. Just Steel left, and he's already down. Flawless round for Mousesports. I'm so surprised they're allowed to push all the way round Ivy and into spawn without losing a single player. But regardless, 11-4 is an extremely strong half on the T side. But like you said earlier, Vendetta, we have seen Mousesports lose games on train with a bigger lead before.
Yeah, but that's when they had to go into their T side, not into their CT side. So that leaves me very worried for Team Liquid. I expected this to be a much easier matchup for the North American side. Instead, they're just getting completely trounced. And I think the start that they kind of put themselves in, obviously the over-rotation in the second round, that leaves them susceptible to taking damage out in yard, and obviously Sunny stepping up massively with the Deagle ace. That just kind of sets everything off on a wrong foot. They managed to mess up yet another anti-eco after getting 2 rounds in a row, which puts a complete break on any sort of comeback they would have liked to establish. It's just kind of poorly played CT half, really, from Team Liquid. Some of it down to positioning and decision making, but also like the individuals on there aren't really doing a whole lot. You can see Naf has just been pretty much synonymous with topping the scoreboard for Liquid ever since he arrived. Same thing, when he was in Renegades. He's having a real rough time out here. And, obviously, it could be in part due to the fact that Liquid had very limited economy during their entirety of the CT half, but still, you would expect a player of his caliber to be able to get a little bit more done out in yard there. But there's no doubt that Mousesports are in full control over this match as of right now. Sunny setting the pace early on to get him off to a great start, and now towards the later rounds, we've just seen Oscar coming into his zone and being that absolute beast. And if you're a team with no dedicated opper, I don't know how you're supposed to deal with Oscar.
Especially on train, again, the discussion we had before the match. Not only Oscar, but also Chris J, although he's not been on the AWP.
No, he hasn't had to.
T-side, right?
Yeah, T-side on train, probably not something you're going to see too often.
Oscar's done this every pistol round. We've casted a lot of Mousesports this week, and every pistol round he takes it off.
I like
Doesn't it decrease the accuracy somewhat?
I actually think it does. I can't remember the stats exactly, but I'm pretty sure Sloth Squadron has a spreadsheet that he showed me at one point.
Elige's not a fan of that decision.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you're not going to hit pinpoint accuracy and you kind of aim a little bit off the head, technically the RNG could help. Who knows? He's obviously got a reason for it, but Mousesports are down a man and Liquid are taking the A bomb site. Utility is already used towards that connector, but it's about to fade, and the kills are coming through for Mousesports. A solo man on Ivy. Twist has to go big, and he will get his 1v1 in success. Steel saving him as well, getting another frag, but Mousesports still not out of this round. We're going to hear the footsteps. Sunny grabs another kill. And now in a 1v1, both players on 2 frags each. The bomb wrapping around the back of the Ivy train, Sunny in the open, and Lee's going to take him down. Liquid, 5 rounds on the board. Their start to success, their start for a comeback here after a bit of a difficult CT side. Mousesports, well, Liquid have to make sure Mousesports don't win this force by like last time.
Yeah, massive round from Elige there. Obviously, first picking off Oscar. That's great. That's what you want to see. Swaps out for the USP. Puts on the silencer and gets 2 additional kills. definitely what Team Liquid need, and they definitely need their star players to get into this game. It's been fairly quiet from everyone on the server for the better part of it.
And that's why we do have the safe buy with rifles. Liquid not wanting to throw too much of a risk.
But on the side of Mousesports, 4 Deagles and a Scout can definitely do a ton of damage. Robs is going to hear tons of sound towards the inner bomb site. You can see the rotation coming in. Oof, what a shot onto Steel.
And we know what Sunny's like with a Deagle as well. He's already begun to rotate on through. So now Mousesports man advantage, traded back by Liquid. Nitro trying to hold the flank, and Oscar going to be caught out of position. Perfect spot for Nitro, but no, he shoots too early. Oscar going to take him down. And now Mousesports in a 4-on-3. Rotations back into the site for the CT side as they now have full control with all their players here. Twist going to get another kill, but look at the damage being done to the CT side, or to the T side, sorry. Alij now again in a clutch situation, but he's already found one. Isolated the 2 1v1s, knows exactly where Mousesports are. He is being wrapped, and Sunny going to fake the bomb. That creates further problems for Alij, and he has to turn back round. Chris J grabs a kill, and Mousesports
do it again.
Yeah, both pistols for Liquid, both 4 spies for Mouse.
That is heartbreaking for Liquid, and if frustration hadn't already set in by how poorly you played on the CT side, at this point you're feeling pretty dejected about how things are going.
12-5 up for Mousesports.
Yeah, and again, Sunny finding a bunch of frags with the Deagle. Who would have thought?
No surprise. And I mean, we haven't even got, I haven't seen anything from Chris J or Stiko this map, and we have Rob, Sunny, and Oscar just kind of carrying them over victory lane. 12-5, and with only 3 players really having to step up, that's so sick for Mousesports.
I mean, to be fair, I think Rob's had a pretty quiet game in itself. Obviously, that's a big first pick he finds on Steel there on Inner, but this has pretty much been the Sunny and Oscar show.
Well, Sunny won't step up again this time. Chris J joining that as well. Rops is going to have to, but he's getting mowed down by Nafly's AK. Everyone dead from Mousesports already, so Liquid again back in with a force of their own. It's not consistent for either team here. Mousesports now had to try and make something happen with SMGs, but Stiko and Oscar really not equipped for this one. And with Steel already beginning to wrap Ivy, that's a perfect position to catch Stiko off guard. Oscar.
Well, if you're Mousesports in this situation, sure, you can kind of hope to get some easy kills, but you know that Liquid are forced into this. It's probably better off saving, which does not feel good. Like saving an MP9 and a UMP, it's obviously not that great, but the bigger value lies in the utility that they have in the Kevlar.
Well, let's see if they can take it into the next round, or if Liquid will be on the hunt. Steel certainly is. Although, a bit of an off angle here. Oscar around the corner, and Stiko in for support, so even if Oscar does get taken down here, Stiko can just trade straight away, but still not overstepping the mark. Surprising considering he only has a CZ, but just wants to save the Kevlar. Can buy up now on the Liquid side. Their pistol was supposed to be the lifeline, but I guess that will make up for it after losing that Antico. Mousesports, do they force here? Because they've got Chris J on 4750.
I don't think they should force here. The 2 others can't really afford to get anything more than pistols. No utility to speak of. And what you're supplementing is a UMP and an MP9. So not necessarily great. You have no real way of setting up a proper yard defense unless you want to get really close, which is going to take utility to get into, or you're going to have to take massive risks actually getting either close to teammate or inside a pop, that kind of thing. So I think they're better off just playing the playing for the long term really. And they still have like a massive cushion to deal with this, so there's no real for them to start fiddling around with their economy and actually potentially setting themselves up in a similar situation we saw Liquid are, where once you finally get to buy, you're not really doing too hot for yourself. But we're actually, I
had a feeling that would happen, because with Chris exactly on the amount of money for the AWP, he drops it over to Oscar.
That means he has nothing. Obviously, he's going to have a Deagle dropped to him, but I'm not a big fan of this at all.
You do like your full buys, and I don't blame that. Mousesports equipped, maybe not too well for this, but again, anything can happen when you have an AWP in Oscar's hands, and Sunny as well, equipped on a UMP.
The problem is that you're 130 into the round, you have 2 smokes and a Molotov. That's it. And look at the Liquid side, they still have 5 Molotovs in their hands, 4 smokes. If Liquid just go through the motions and play a proper execute, I don't see where Mousesports are going to find the opportunities to find frags here.
Well, they are going to opt to do exactly that. Smokes over the B-bomb site. Rob's falling back to a more passive position, but Sunny doesn't have the pleasure. He's going to get taken down. Elise traded from Robs, but can he do more? Yes, that's Steel dead. A big individual effort may win Mousesports the round if they can consistently keep this up. Robs is going to get naded, and with the bomb going down and Twist low, Team Liquid still not in a safe position. They have a molly for the post plant, but it goes out very, very deep. Chris is already out through the connector, so that doesn't matter to Mousesports. Stico closing the distance, and with Twist tagged up on the site, this is a free kill potentially, but no, he looks at the wrong target. Nafly as well, tagged up. Maybe Chris J can get something done. Oscar certainly can. Orb shot. The second one can't connect. Now Chris, the unarmored player, unequipped player with just a deagle, needs a 1v2. I feel like Liquid have got this in the bag. And Chris J, well, he will get one. I don't think there's time. He's going to have to stick the bomb straight away. Nitro will not miss that fight. And Liquid, it gets dicey, but they win the round.
It gets very dicey, actually. They're so slow to actually move forward. Obviously, the one player who tries to get an aggressive position was Steel, but he's all by his lonesome, gets taken out by Robs. I think that's a fight or a duel he should win, especially considering how Robs was, you know, just moments before busy, you know, focusing on higher, dealing with that duel. But, you know, that definitely could have gotten hairy, especially with Nafly using his Molotov, because that's also something I'm not quite on board with, the fact that they've taken so much time to get the bomb plant down, and they've been on the air bomb site for quite some time, so expecting the rotations to have already come through should be something they're aware of.
This round, though,
much better.
Yeah, pretty quick, pretty concise. Nice to see Liquid be able to actually anti-eco this time, because Mousesports have been very scary with these pistols, but this time no armor for the CT side, so...
Yeah. Same strategy applied as they did to get the round back after losing a pistol, pretty much. Just a very quick pop aggression, working out nicely, getting to, you know, basically a drop on all the lanes, just winning out their duels. So we're definitely seeing the individuals on Liquid doing a lot better for themselves, starting to hit some shots and get some confidence, hopefully. But still a long ways to go. And yeah, Mousesports, they're going to get a buy. Again, not optimal in terms of utilities, not having more than one Molotov. Not a massive fan of that. And obviously this comes back on the fact that they decided to force buy. So we'll see if this comes back to haunt them as we go along. Because at this point, Mousesports are going to have, if they're not able to string rounds together, they're going to have such an unstable economy to the point where they're going to spend all the reserves they have every time they buy out. That's going to eventually lead to no op, very limited utility, and that's going to make it a really tough CT side to play. It's the same issue that Liquid ran into.
And that's the thing, when you're at the spot for Mousesports, it's essentially, it's just going to be buy eco, buy eco, buy eco, until they either win or lose, you know, win a round or lose the game. So they need to watch out for that, and they need to keep players alive if they do win these rounds. But Liquid back to the A-bomb site. Stico caught out of position. Chris J lines up too. And Nafly, he's going to get at least a response, and somehow Liquid pull themselves back into the advantage. Even with that pick, I thought it would go the way of Mousesports with Chris J mowing them down, but now Oscar and Rops, two players who you'd usually expect to be stepping up here for Mousesports in a very tough spot, may consider the save as well, because look at their positioning. Oscar's trying to push his way back in, looking for a free pick if Liquid do overextend, but Rops is so far away and he's sneaking as well. Look at Elige's position. He's already in the pop dog, so Rops, this is going to be a very difficult way to get back into this position if they want to attempt this retake, but no.
There's no reason for them to go for this. They have one smoke really to deal with, but they have so many angles that they have yet to clear. Obviously, that smoke could have gone down either on the bomb or in front of Pop, but you know, outside of that, there's not a lot of hope to actually clear out the remaining Team Liquid players. And Liquid kind of hit the right timing. Obviously, Mousesports with not enough necessarily utility to have a solo player towards the inner bomb site. They stack up with two players there, both Oscar and Rops. And if you have a fourth guy out there in yard for Mousesports, which is not an uncommon setup to see, then that could have very easily swung in the favor of Mousesports instead.
And here we go, back to the buy eco situation for Mousesports.
Yeah, now you just need to have zero investment, really, I think, on your side. Or yeah, light Kevlar, that's fine.
Yeah, they have 3.4k loss bonus, so it's not the end of the world, right, if they do invest. But the thing is, you know, players like Oscar want to keep all the money they can so they can get that AWP into the buy if he does go down this time.
And the benefit of buying light Kevlar here in this scenario, obviously aim punch, but you know, if either Robs or Oscar dies, at least you're better prepared. But look at Robs here, getting aggressive on inner sight. Only finds one frag, but that's going to give a lot of early information to the rest of his teammates, and Oscar is going to take full advantage of that. Finds Steel, does get traded out by Nitro though, but still even numbers.
Yeah, and those two weapons that Mousesports pulled into this round both need to get more than one kill each, because now it's just pistols. Sunny does retrieve the AWP, but Twist, look at this position, he's so aggressive, and Chris J's not going to be ready with just a pistol. He can't respond. Sunny may consider the save as well. If this kill comes through, that should be the round. The nade, though, Sunny, he makes this a 1v1. Time is low, no kid in play at all across the CT side, but if he speeds up, there's certainly a potential for him to win this round. Nitro, again, back in the heaven as Sunny goes towards the bomb. He needs to fake out this defuse. He needs to force Nitro to peek, but there's just no time left. And I think he's realized that as well. Maybe trying to force Nitro to die with the bomb, throwing in that flashbang, will fall back. Oh. He runs past the AWP.
Yeah, I guess
they do have the money for it.
Yeah, Oscar has enough money for it, and you can obviously buy an AK on the CT side, so values that a bit more. But yeah, Mousesports is doing a lot of damage though with minimal investment. Those two saved weapons drops, obviously starting to show off with that early kill. But again, if that had been a setup, obviously where they play with 2 players towards inner, that could have gone very well for them. Obviously, if Oscar is in position to shoot people coming down lower ramp before that Molotov comes out, probably gets an additional kill. But Liquid fighting back here. Oh, Oscar picks off Twist. It's the quick play from Liquid, not panning out at all.
Oh no, 2 AWPs and 2 deaths, make it 3. Oscar's gonna chime in again. Another shot to the head of Nafly and 3 frags from the man himself. Mousesports have made this round a reality. It's only going to be on the hands of Nitro now in a 1v5. Bomb down in the open. Mousesports swarming the bomb site. Already got the flank going on for Stico just to have that insurance policy, and that will be all they need. Mousesports 13 rounds on the board. Finally, after a bit of a hiatus, they come back in with a CT round.
Yeah, a brutal double op setup, and you talked about this leading into the matchup. Like, how are Liquid going to deal with that? Obviously, it's impossible for Liquid to know that there's going to be a double up in play at this point for Mousesports. Their economy has been a little bit all over the place. You might expect Liquid and Mousesports to have priorities in getting utility, which definitely isn't, a poor train of thought. But yeah, Oscar by himself can create enough of havoc. Finds 3 kills that round. It's just so precise as well. And look at the aggression, Chris. Just gets the leg of one of the Liquid players, and now with so much damage done, they have to realize that there's 2 people there.
That's sick. That nade is so good. Nitro's on 4 health now, and even though he hit Stico in the leg as he departed, that kill onto Steel and the damage onto Nitro, it's pretty much fair across the board. Now we have Mousesports, 1 lower player, 3 full HP. Same story for Liquid. And Oscar, he's even going to take down a lead up on B. That's such an issue now. They continue to try and walk out. Nafly's trying to get out the heaven. Twist does find an entry in the meantime, so Oscar's dead. A great shot from Twist as well. But what can Rops do on the site? Nothing! Twist takes him down. That was Mousesports' opportunity, but now it's just left to 2. Luckily, Stico pulls it back, but he is going to be the last man up. Nafly dropping his teammate, and Stico jumping up to his death. So, Liquid, they get the reset. Mousesports, don't do this again on train. It seems like it's happening, Vendetta.
Well, at least they will have the opportunity with all 5 remaining in that previous round. They're going to have enough money to buy up. So that's one thing going their way. And Liquid on there, and they might be looking at a bit of a shaky buy if they were to lose this one.
The issue is, for Mousesports, they lose this. They have to eco to 14. They have to double eco.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely not optimal. And I definitely think they should have won that round as well. I mean, normally you'd see Rops win that duel, 9 out of 10 times, just kind of halfway commits and gives Twist a chance to react.
Yeah, and my question is, how does Twist get that kill onto Oscar? Surely he was in a position where he was only watching Heaven after finding that kill, so why is he exposed out the connector without a teammate there to trade him?
Either poor communication or just a bit of lapse of judgment from Oscar.
Especially when Rops is watching the ramp and not the upper instead. But Liquid now confident. They've pulled this all the way back from an 11-4 half. They won the pistol. They lost the anti-eco. And somehow they're still in this game with a very real opportunity of them taking this map as well. Don't let the scoreline confuse you. Mousesports haven't shown nothing this CT side. It's back to B for Liquid. The opportunity for success again. This has been such an easy bomb site for them to get control of, Mousesports not being able to retake it in the past, and this story is going to be no different because they have 4 players on the A site. This will be a long route way back in. Rops is going to have to get a couple of kills here. He's already let 2 of them cross to the site, but maybe they won't expect the 3rd player there. Oh, Rops, he gets 1, but no more. Liege, again, always ready with a trade. And now Mousesports have to attempt this retake. But again, Molotov down. Are they just going to straight up save this? Because they know they have to double eco if they lose.
They should save this. There's no reason for them to go for it. They don't have any Molotovs. They have no smoke, so they can't smoke out the bomb. I'm not really sure why Mousesports are doing this.
It looked like the save. They're going to go for it anyway. 1 kit to play with. Dangerous retake, but Chris J does catch out a Liege. They've got to speed things up. Another frag comes through. Stiko takes down that fly, and someone needs to jump on the bomb right now, but they left the kit behind them. It's a 10-second defuse. They're sticking it. Steel, wide peak. He needs to kill them both, and he does! Steel, 3 frags. And Liquid, they hold on to the game. They're still in control.
I mean, even if they Mousesports make it that close, I don't think it's worthwhile. You have, at best, 1 kit on your entire team. Yeah, and that's it. The second he goes down, if nobody picks it up, you have no shot at doing this. You have no smokes to smoke off the bomb, or either upper or lower. No Molotovs. You're solely relying on firepower, and you've already hesitated in terms of how early you're committing to the retake as well. So a lot of time has ran off the clock.
I don't know if they had a smoke for the Molotov and connector. If they did, they should have just done that and gone right through, because yeah, that wrap round CT really delayed them too long. You know, without that, as you say, it could have been doable, but now Mousesports are going to be regretting that decision, because they are left to just pistols. And double eco coming in as well, very likely, unless they go for some kind of crazy force. They've got to get Liquid 14 rounds. And that is never fun.
No, definitely isn't. And Oscar tries to get aggressive through pop. He's going to get handedly dealt with by Elige. And yeah, not too much of a hope here for Mousesports to get anything done.
Just slow for Liquid. I like it as well. They've already had issues with the pistols before, albeit with more armor on Mousesports. They don't want this round to go astray, because they've done so well in pulling this game back, and this will be a horrible round to lose, so they take it fairly calculated. 2 entries towards the A bomb site. They're going to start to commit. Chris J's the only man here, but Steel, of course, he checks the angle. He's going to get that free kill. Liquid on the bomb site. They take it for free. Mousesports, nothing they can do in response. Rops, maybe grab an AK if someone overextends, but it's Twist with the UMP, and that's a perfect gun for clearing out this position, because Rops is not prepared. 13 rounds up for the North Americans, looking to make it to 14. Mousesports, they have a little bit more money than I expected, actually. They don't have to double eco.
They do. I mean, that's a 3rd round loss bonus or 4th. In any case, the issue remains that they don't really have utility. So how are you going to play this? Rops, who's been playing the inner bomb side, has 1 smoke. That's it. He's been playing passive to the point where Liquid are allowed to get down on the bomb side. If he doesn't get a multi-kill at that point, the rotations are not going to be in time, and they're going to have an awkward retake once more. They have 1 kit again. So what do? I think this is the best solution you can have. Yeah, pushing aggressively in Ivy. They're getting a flashback. Steel smartly deciding to back off. So yeah, sure, you get a little bit of map control and information on the side of Mousesports, but this is so early into the round that you can't necessarily hold this position forever.
And when you say, you know, oh, we need someone to get a multi-kill, if we think back to all these B-bomb site holes with Rops, he's not stepped up once. He's not had one of those rounds where we expect him to just get 2-3 frags and shut down the push and allow for that retake. It's always been a 4-on-4 retake pretty much on the B-bomb site. And Mousesports, they don't seem to be able to ever get into these rounds. Of course, this is a very Mousesports buy going for rifles, but as you say, I don't think it's good enough. 1 kit, 1 Molotov, only a minute into the round.
The problem is that it's impossible for Ops to can't expect him to get more than 1 kill if he doesn't have the utility to actually, clear out a lane, so he only can focus on 1 angle, that type of thing, without any utility. And this is pretty much the one thing they can go for on a low utility buy, is having 2 players towards that inner bomb side. Oscar is going to be given an opportunity pretty soon here towards higher. We're going to see if there's going to be pop flash for Twist, though. No.
Oh, no.
Goes for the peak.
He gets out of there, but he goes back in for more. Hungry. Oscar takes the first frag, and Twist drops. Doesn't seem like he realized. Gonna look back down. Now Rops is there as well. 30 seconds left. Oscar forced back, and Rops is gonna get taken down as well. With Oscar on 10 HP, Liquid again. Another execute going fantastically well onto this bomb site. Don't know how they've come out ahead in this round, considering that first pick.
Well, if you don't find a pick within the next 10 seconds for Mousesports, you just have to bail out.
To be honest, I think already you have to bail out. Look how low Oscar is. That's not going to be easy for the retake, but Twist, he's going to hear footsteps. Stiko gets the opening kill. Maybe this is doable. They need to speed things up, because Stiko does have that kit to work with. Steel, crossfire with Nitro as well, but they're caught out of position. Sunny, the next frag. Stiko picks up 1 more, and that's it. Mousesports do it out of absolutely nothing. They find the round, and 14 finally back in their hand.
It's very shaky. Very, very shaky. They're solely relying on being able to find Liquid players who are in positions with no potential trade, and they do so. So getting a bit fortunate there. But yeah, just not really feeling how Mousesports are dealing with the CT side on train right now. Like, even if they are picking up a round here, it hasn't really been consistent. Obviously, only the 3rd round picked up in total. on this half, and yeah, the following buy is not necessarily that great either. They do have double ops though, so we've seen that being put into work. That's the one buy round they've won actually before that, with Chris and Oscar combining for 4, but 2 UMPs. Again, Rops with no utility really to speak of on inner. This time he's playing alone as well. So, yeah, tough task ahead.
Well, Liquid, they realize the importance of this round. Not only does it deny Mousesports map point, but also it resets the economy of the CT side.
Yeah, the scary thing for Mousesports right now is Team Liquid have shown an affinity of going towards that inner bomb site. And the more pressure they put on it, Mousesports could feel inclined to actually have a rotation coming in towards inner, and that's what we're going to see from Oscar now. Luckily, though, they have gotten Sunny into a really aggressive position, and that's what allows them to do this. But even still, like having 3 players out in yard there versus full AKs is going to be really tough to deal with. Mountain Liquid still have time to just wait out these aggressive smokes from Mousesports.
And the issue is with this as well, is Liquid are going for the A execute. If you look at Oscar's position, the one player that has been doing well, he's so far away from that connector. He's going to have a tough time rotating in. Sunny, he needs a multi-kill, but this is a really good position. They're not going to check it. Twist does, but he gets taken down regardless. Sunny can't get more. What is this spray from Team Liquid? Somehow Nitro gets a double entry, but he's so low, and so is Steel. Damage done by Stiko, but it's not enough. Nafly trading on the site and running into the connector where Rops picks up an AK-47 from his body. Can maybe follow up as well. Nitro, he's been spotted. Rops doesn't realize. Oh no, he's getting shot through the wall, and Nitro's going to get his 3rd kill of the round. Oscar, he needs to step up here. 8 seconds, but he's not going to do it. Nitro goes insane. 4 frags and saves it for Liquid. That might be the game in just that round.
It could very well be, but what the hell was that from both teams? Obviously, Sunny getting into a bit of an unorthodox position, I guess you could say, but once he picks up the first kill, it seems like none of the Liquid players actually react to the fact that he's sitting in the corner. They're turning their heads. Like, initially, they're spamming through the corner, or towards the corner where Sunny's at. Then they do a 180, starts looking towards T-main. Luckily enough, Sunny isn't able to get enough or more damage out. If he has a Colt in that situation, for instance, that's probably 2 more players dead. Like, it's hectic as hell, and I think it was Nafly was on top of bomb train, jumps into a molly through a smoke into Rops' face, just full-on chaos there. Could have so very easily gone the way of Mousesports and put them to match point, but instead, Liquid managed to hold on. So 14-14 and a really, really shoddy situation
Look
for
at this,
Mousesports.
though. This is the most Mousesports thing I've ever seen. They drop over an AWP again to Oscar. Chris, no money on him. They'll probably lose this round unless Oscar does something insane. Obviously, that's still a possibility. And then they have to play for OT. But Chris won't even have money to buy up. They'll only have 1,900 loss bonus. So, I mean, this is risky. Liquid fast execute towards the outer bomb site. They just want to get in the face of Mousesports' limited weaponry, and they can't do a thing with it. Steel's already taken down that AWP, so while it does get retrieved by Sunny, he needs to save that. There's no way Mousesports should be trying to contest this round. Sunny's realized that. He's already in the B bomb site. Liquid have taken A, and they've taken the 15th round as well. If any frags come in from Mousesports, they can try and save guns, but at this point, economical damage won't make a difference.
I'm actually curious if they are aware of the fact that Oscar had an op. I'm not sure if he fired off a single shot, or if they saw it. The angle for a leech didn't necessarily give him an opportunity to see whether or not, I think it was, no, not a leech, but yeah, the guy who downed Oscar, I'm not sure if he was in a position to actually see what kind of weapon he had. Because obviously if they know that there's an op in play and on the fields for Mousesports, they would be extremely aggressive in hunting, because going into the last round, you're going to be able to buy up regardless. You don't need to hold 5 people alive, but they just seem content with what they have right now. And again, you talked about like putting kind of all eggs in one basket, dropping the op there for Oscar. But I get, guess if your basket's name is Oscar, it's not the worst one to put it in.
Yeah, I mean, if there was anyone on the server that could just win a round on his own, it would be Oscar. But I don't know. I feel like there's a very, very risky buy. Luckily, they saved the AWP, so it doesn't matter in the long run. But if they didn't save that, they didn't get away with the AWP into the next round. Chris J's on no money and no AWP on Oscar, but I mean, let's see what this buy is for Mousesports. 3 M4s, 1 FAMAS, and AWP. It's better than what I expected, but it is still not really the best of buys we have seen. However, Sunny doesn't seem to care. He's got aggressive towards Pop and already dropped Nafla. You've got a very fast position taken. Mousesports need to watch out on B, and Ropsy has no utility again for this. He can't isolate these angles, as you said, because he's got to take a fight against all these players pushing the site. Twist wraps wide, and he takes him down. So now Liquid on the bomb site in a 4-on-4. So much utility on this T side to just keep Mousesports at bay from rotating back in, and that's been such a big issue. The CT side has been so delayed in retaking the site, and that's why Molotov to hold off Chris J. Even with the frag, Liquid can just continue to throw nades at Mousesports to stop them from getting into the bomb site. Steel, perfect angle for the job, but Oscar expects it. He does get that frag. So now there's 2 players up to the Liquid side, and there's not much they can do. Just Nitro left in a 1v4. Tag, kill onto Chris J as well, and a smoke to try and shield himself from a very wide angle, but Stiko's already on the bomb. Can Nitro stop it? I don't think he can, and that will be it. Mousesports take it to OT. Somehow they keep this game on.
Somehow they keep having lots of success on these retakes with no utility whatsoever, but Liquid keep putting themselves in position. Yeah, they're getting forward, which is really good. This is what you're supposed to do when you do intertakes, but they have no way of actually trading for each other. At any given point, we've seen it, what, 3 or 4 times now, where Mousesports are able to just get multiple kills, even though they've had a really hard time actually getting the rotation in towards the inner bomb site. And that shouldn't happen if you're Liquid. You should have planned out, after plant positions that you can work off of, so you actually know where your teammates are. You do have the potential to trade for each other. Instead, they get isolated completely, and it ends up being, oftentimes a man advantage going into the duels for Mousesports.
And while it is good to be aggressive on that B site post plant, obviously it's very easy to retake as a CT. We're seeing too aggressive from Liquid, right? Look at that last round. Chris J just kills, I think it was Twist, literally by the spawn.
I don't think you need to actually get in towards that higher lane, really, towards spawn. Like positions that Steel takes, for instance, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Playing by oil train or the second bomb, like we saw 2 of the other players do. On Liquid, that's perfectly fine. But you need to have, somebody watching their back. Nitro on high, for instance, should be able to deal with the fact that there's a guy on oil train downing your guy by second, right?
Yeah.
Like, that should be something that Liquid has in play, and they haven't done it very well.
And even Mousesports on their post plants, they were actually very passive, and they had some, pretty good success on that B bomb site with the passive post plants, because Liquid were getting close up, and Mousesports were just trading in their duels. So yeah, so something to be learned from by Liquid, but maybe they'll improve. They've got plenty more rounds to do so as we hit overtime number 1.
I think the really worrying part for Liquid right now is that they're finally going up against the Mousesports lineup that has utility
and orbs.
Yeah, so
many orbs.
Like, this is probably the best chance Mousesports have had to deal with any sort of execute or attack coming in from Liquid throughout their entire CT side, which is kind of ridiculous to say when we played all 30 rounds of regulation. So, yeah, this is a much better scenario for Mousesports to be in. They shouldn't be in this spot right now.
Not at all. But who will be the victor? Again, this is Liquid's map pick. This is one that you said they'd take.
I definitely was expecting Liquid to kind of finish this off, but horrible CT side. Solid T side, but...
For both teams, obviously.
Yeah, there's been really a lot of stuff to work with there. Nav, thinking about dropping down into Pop here. Just going to throw a flash. Just going to force Sunny out. Oh.
Is that a decoy? Did he actually throw the flash? Either way.
Was it, yeah.
Yeah, they get the opening kill, but Chris J does trade onto Nafly, and he follows up from the close position. Only 2, though. Elige back on the shot. So 3v3, 30 seconds left up for Liquid to get something done, but that's a good peek from Steel. He just saves his teammate's life because his teammate was actually posted. Oscar was actually posted on the player at the back of main, but now Rops is going to step up. 1 kill from him. Stiko in a 1v1, 18 seconds left. The bomb needs to go down. Elige does not have time to wrap towards B. He could take this fight, and he tries to, but Stiko, very passive. Elige going to get this bomb down, and Stiko with a Molotov to contest, but the shot through the bottom part of the train. Elige is on 30 points of health. He expects Stiko to be wrapping the right side, but it's a fake. He's doubled back towards Ivy. However, in about 2 seconds, I'm sure Elige will check it because he knows Stiko could be in this position by now, and he is. Elige takes it. Now Liquid, first round on the board, but it does come down to the 1v1. I feel like that's a perfect example of how these games have been going. So close.
It's super close, a lot of these rounds. But again, I don't understand necessarily Oscar's positioning there. Leaves himself completely wide open. Sure, there's a guy coming out of T main, but you still have players on your side to kind of deal with that. You have a guy playing by 7 who should be able to deal with anyone pushing forward on top of either blue or green train. And if not, Rops, you give the information to Rops that, that's an angle I can't cover because I need to keep an eye on Ivy.
Oh,
but it does give the opportunity for Liquid to get 16 rounds. Sunny, though, aggressive in Pop, finds Elige. Oh, it's going to get both of the returning squad from Liquid as well. So that's 3 kills. Oscar, ooh, misses a big shot onto Nitro and actually going to go for a re-peek after. That's brazen. Not going to pay off either. It does give Liquid a fighting chance here. Sunny, though, already on a bit of an adventure behind teammate, and this is probably not going to be expected by Liquid.
No, not so early into the round as well, but it depends how deep into the site Liquid can get. They do have utility to at least force back some of these Mousesports players, but look at how reserved Mousesports are playing. They're just waiting for this flank from Sunny. It's coming all the way around. Rob's playing for info. Headshot missed from Nitro, looking for more. He catches Stico down Ivy. Will they expect the flank? They check Pop Dog, but they don't check main, and that's where Sunny's coming from. Sneaking round, no one in the open. Nitro's posted. Sunny has to be very careful here, because they could actually catch him off guard. He sees a leg, or does he? Yes. Nitro in the open. Sunny grabs a kill, and now him and Robs can play together. Sunny just has to back off. Doesn't have to take this fight. Steal. Trying to force a 1v1, but look at Robs. He just snuck out onto the bomb site. No way you expect that. Very well played as Mousesports find their second round.
Mousesports still taking a lot of chances here. Sunny deciding to get on top of the train in a 2v1 situation after dropping the bomb. At that point, you can kind of put it into Steel's hands in terms of first off having to find the remaining Mousesports players. He knows where both of them are, but still he has to seek him out. That's going to buy time. Also has to pick up the bomb and plan at one point. Mousesports just kind of giving him an opportunity to make it into a 1v1. So they do come out with the round win. And if Mousesports could get 2 here on the CT side, that would be a pretty big positive to go into the second half of OT, considering how poorly they played on that CT side during regulation.
That is just it. Whoever gets 2 rounds first is probably going to be poised pretty well, but...
Yeah. Then again, we did see Liquid did suffer the same issues as Mousesports did during their CT side. You know, very little utility to work with, having constantly a pretty broken economy, and obviously they're going to have a shot at 10K and all the utility in the world. So we might see a much improved CT side from their end as well.
Well, very slow round from Liquid regardless. They don't want to take Pop Dog instantly because Sunny has been a nuisance there. 3 kills from that position in the last round. It still came down to a 2v1, so Liquid did a good job of pulling it back. Maybe they can take this one too, but Stico spotting down Ivy. Nitro's there with the AWP. And oh, that's so close. Stico, that's enough info to just smoke it off and fall back.
Not re-peeking that.
No.
Well, buys a little bit of time. Just deep rotate around the entirety of Ivy and gets in on top of 7 train here. This could be a pretty nice... I can't see anyone actually looking or peering towards Ivy right now. That smoke is not an unbreakable wall by any means, so they do have to keep tabs on it. All right, so they have rotated Oscar in here. It's going to drop a nade. That's going to land on the feet of Twist.
Wow. Stico. Oh, Chris always hits the double shots. He hits one through the smoke as well. That's Oscar, sorry, but Chris still takes him down. And now a Legion, 2v2. Rob's in the open. That's a dangerous peak to take, but he does get away with it. And with 10 seconds left, there's no time. Mousesports have done it. 17 rounds. Finally, they take 2 on the CT side.
What is it with Chris and doubles?
What a mess. Yeah, Chris. Who is it against? On Inferno?
Yeah, G2. He did it twice.
Yeah, 2 double kills. That literally saved them rounds as well.
Yeah.
And then he does it again in OT versus Liquid. Everyone's lining up for this man.
Has some sort of like magnet going on. People don't know about, but yeah, 2 rounds on the CT side for Mousesports, a big get. Obviously, they just got 4 during the entirety of the regulation, but well, you mentioned it, Team Liquid, they do have utility to play with now. Not going to go with triple ops as we saw towards the tail end of their first half, but they do have a double ops setup.
Yeah, that triple up was very questionable because Mousesports sped up the pace, and Liquid don't want to be dealing with a fast outer rush when they have 3 orbs. So 2 will be the magic number. 1 player down towards B. It's just Steel here. Mousesports need to watch out for that aggro ramp push that we have seen from Liquid on their CT side. Very slow default to kick things off, as Mousesports have been doing so far on this map. And Liquid, not a lot of map control. They do have aggressive position towards Pop Dog, but other than that, really, they've got nothing to brag about. They're passive on Ivy. They're giving that to Mousesports, not that they've taken control. With 2 players towards the B bomb site and Mousesports heavily set out of outside of A for the time being, this could come back to haunt Liquid, but this is early.
You're going to have to... nice Molotov to clear Liege out of the Pop Dog spot. And Liege is in many ways going to be the linchpin here. Well, as he falls further back and joins the rest of his teammates, it's a bit more of a safer setup. They're actually going to boost Nitro, I think it is. Or maybe it's Nafly up on the connector box. It's going to be Nafly, actually. A lot of this comes down to the early picks that Mousesports can get, Liquid can get, seeing how they're still committed to 2 people on that inner bomb site.
And with this position, you can't really get rid of it with a smoke. It's not too common, at least. It can go towards a connector, but Nafly's giving free roam over the site. Sunny already going to get his head cut off. Chris J is the only man to find a frag on the T side, and Rops close in the smoke. Got to watch out. This AWP can still be dangerous, and Elite has come in for support as well. Nafly wrapping the backside bomb, drop 15 seconds up for Mousesports, and 2 players left to stand. Rops will return a frag to the favor of Nafly, but he still needs to get this plant in. Chris J's dead, so no support. Rops has to stick it. They'll just rush him. They don't care about money, and Steel's taking him down. So Liquid, 17 rounds as well. Both teams, again, so close. It's 1st to 19 here. If they split the next 2 rounds, we go to a double OT.
Naf, being the hero of the round there, has had a pretty rough game for his standards up till this point, but find 2 massive frags. The opening onto Sunny from connector, and then obviously dropping down, denying the bomb plan after. Then all he had to do, and well, Mousesports, they definitely needed the trades to go in their favor early on to kind of negate or to take advantage of the fact that Liquid was playing 2 on the inner bomb side, but Liquid doing such a good job of finding these picks allows them to get the first round on the board of OT.
Ivy control taken, and Twist passive on this angle. This could be a bit dangerous. Nafly's up on the site with the AWP as well. And Mousesports looking to maybe split through the pop dog. They've run this before. Last time they actually began a bit of a wrap towards B and then doubled back.
Remains to be seen if you actually want to do the double back at this point. Liquid once again holding steady with 2 players towards inner, but some movement there from Nitro. Maybe thinking about that backline area. Leash just going to tank that nade.
Oof. The thing is, last time he ran out, so Mousesports maybe not expecting him to stay in the same position this time.
Oh, Rops,
wow.
You cheeky devil.
That's a lot of damage.
Yep. Nearly takes down the Leash. Obviously has no idea what he's done, but
they'll work it out soon enough.
Yeah, at least still, though, being extremely aggressive with 16 HP, and eventually Rops gets the better of him.
Now Mousesports with the man up, beginning to wrap up through this Ivy position. Sunny going to get the trade onto Chris J. After Twist finds that kill, at least Nafly on the site. But the timing, he zooms out right as Oscar peaks. That's a great bait from Mousesports, but it's unfortunate for Nafly because his opportunity into the round is gone. Now Nitro has to step up. Steel's been smoked off. He's not going to have the option to push it as well. There's so many T players in the site. Stiko's one of them, holding the angle. Shot goes through, and it will connect to the head of Steel. Now just Nitro in a 1-on-3. No real reason to save, but he's going to go for it anyway. He knows he can't win this round, so maybe a bit of a boost of money if they do need it. But to be honest, at this point, I think that's null and void.
Twist's a little bit tricky in terms of economy him, so holding or keeping Nitro alive is going to allow for Nitro to drop and Twist to get full utility, because it is expensive, obviously, with 10k OT and going double ops initially. Even though you win, if you take losses, then that's going to weigh you down. But yeah, Mousesports, there you see the big difference what happens when Mousesports are able to find those picks and Liquid not able to respond properly. They're so slow on the rotate from the inner bomb side that it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that Mousesports are going to pick up the round when they are able to clear out yard. Now they sit on map point. And it would be absolutely massive for Mousesports to be able to steal a map away at this point from Liquid. Going into Mirage is the next one, and we've seen such good showings from the Mousesports sides on that map.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind they take Mirage, to be honest, but with question marks reigning over this map, it's certainly still in the book for Liquid, although fast for Mousesports. Look at this outside control from Chris J. He's just run down Olaf, destroying Nafly. Nitro's going to be on the site as well to try and deny things, but he has to make sure he hits his first shot because they need to equalize his kill. Stiko's already found his way to the bomb train, and this is so hard to play if you're a CT in this position because Stiko can just force an angle, force a kill, and he does. Trade in through the smoke from Nitro, but Chris J comes round again from Olaf, and he'll finish things off. Nitro misses his shot, and that will cost him his life. Mousesports in a 4-on-1, and Tony Twist from the flank, not going to be ready for that. Oscar flicks back, and that will be the map going the way of Mousesports. They take train.
Steal away train from Liquid, and given the first half that we saw from the North American squad, I guess you could have maybe expected Mousesports to close this out sooner, but
took a bit of time.
Yeah, but you know, it was a game of mistakes from both teams really, having really poor CT sides. Obviously, bungled economy completely for both teams, and not allowing them to have a lot of utility to work with. But Liquid kind of have to feel like this escaped them a little bit. They definitely feel like they should have done a better job on their CT side. obviously winning both pistols as well. We have to keep that in mind. Getting eco'd or getting eco'd pretty much
Yeah.
right after.
Can you imagine that? That surely would have been a win for Liquid if they took their anti-ecos.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, they lost, obviously, in the first half, they managed to drop the ball after winning pistol, and then they followed it up with, and well, here we see the result of that. Sonny just going
Deagle ace headshots.
absolutely nuts with the Deagle. But they also, lost a second anti-eco in the first half, which definitely could have set them on the path to actually getting more than just 4 rounds. And they were just kind of fortunate by the fact that Mousesports, still think the purchase that Mousesports buy when they, or the purchase that Mousesports had early on in the second half was something that set them on the back foot. I think they would have been better off. I think it was 12-6 where they decided to force buy in hopes of breaking, in hopes of breaking the economy of Liquid. I think that was just unnecessary. You have such a big of a cushion, you might as well just take one more eco, get full utility, potentially those double ops that you wanted that we did get to see pick up 1 round for them. And Mousesports could have gotten away with this earlier. But yeah, mistakes from both sides. But in the end, Mousesports prevail. And that's going to lead us into Mirage. And that's going to be a tall order for Team Liquid.
At least it isn't a map that they don't touch, right? This is a map that they've had success on in the past. So certainly going to be comfortable on it. But I mean, more so for the side of Mousesports. I'm very interested to see how Liquid can do moving forward. And, what a close game. It shows these two teams are very well matched. Again, I think this will be a great example because I think these teams are on a very similar level right now. Maybe obviously Mousesports a little bit ahead, but it will be nice to see if Mousesports are extremely dominant on Mirage. That only backs up our theory that we've had from this event that they are just a sick Mirage team, and it's not that they're a bad team on other maps. It's just their Mirage is above and beyond.
Yeah, no, they're able to basically take on any team in the world on Mirage. Obviously, as you mentioned, it's not unfamiliar territory by any means for Team Liquid. We saw them play it a ton at the CS Summit event and finding a lot of success there, beating Cloud9, for instance. They've also played it a ton here at the event itself. This is going to be their 4th time going into it. 2 victories versus Virtus Pro, which seemingly everyone is beating right now, and a very convincing win versus Renegades. But they did also sustain a pretty heavy loss versus Astralis. So a bit up in the air in terms of where Liquid find themselves right now. Obviously, they didn't have the most exemplary showing here on Train. A lot of mistakes, and I think if that continues to be the trend going into Mirage as well, they could be in for a really rough time.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, confident start for Mousesports and maybe even a confident finish on the second map. I think Inferno is going to be a tough pill to swallow, obviously, if Liquid get that far as well. But that's for another time. We will be going for a short break. Mirage, second map of the series, up next.